I'm coming to get you.
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last? I lied.
Get off my plane.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
John, I'm not gonna shoot you between the eyes. Here, shoot you between the balls.
The disease, and I'm the cure.
I'm gonna take you to the bank, Senator Trent.
There can be only one.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Yippee-ki-yay. I'm going to kill them all, sir.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Gimme Back My Action Movies, the podcast. I am one of your hosts, Charlie. With me, as always, is Nate. Say hello to the people, Nate.
It is not Nate, but it is Bill Nighy.
Oh, it's Bill Nighy. You are a master.
Have Bill Nighy with you tonight.
You are a master of character acting. I thought it was Nate, and it was Bill Nighy this entire time.
Ah, yes, I understand how that could happen, young Charles, but as Bill Nighy,
I love Just Davy Jones.
I don't remember any quotes from my famous movie, Davy Jones and the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Jack Sparrow. That's all you have to say.
That's right. I definitely know that movie. I definitely did not, get annoyed and turn it off.
No, never. Well, here, I'll do one better. It's like, did you pop over and see your mom? Did you see your mom, Sean? Pop over and see your mom.
Make sure you get her flowers, Sean.
There it
That's
is.
definitely probably that's the most spot on Bill Nighy you'll ever heard in your life. It was actually me, everyone. Nate, not Bill Nighy the whole time.
Totally
Man,
fooled me.
you got bamboozled. You should have seen the look on your face.
Totally fooled me. I had no idea. I was like, I didn't know I was scheduled to do an interview, Mr. Bill Nighy. That's totally fine. Oh, so yeah, we are doing Underworld, man, for our continuation of October and spooky kind of movies, even on the action side. So it was like, what's a spooky action movie?
There's like 3.
There's more than 3, but
it's this. There's Blade, The Crow. That's it.
There's one more we're doing this month.
There's one more that people weren't expecting because they forgot about it. But other than that,
yeah,
next year you'll probably get The Crow and Blade.
The Crow and Blade. Mark your calendars. But yeah, it was like vampires, werewolves, machine guns. You know how I love my werewolves and machine guns, Nate.
Oh, look here. We did another damn werewolf movie with automatic weapons. One day, I swear to God, we're going to do a werewolf movie where automatic weapons are not a part of it.
I've never seen one, so I don't believe they exist.
Starting to wonder if they do exist because I don't remember so many werewolf movies having automatic weapons.
If I'm not mistaken,
they're even an American Werewolf in
yes,
London.
That's what I was trying to remember. The Nazi werewolves are carrying
he's got the
machine
Uzi.
Guns. I have the figure. I have it over here. Jackie got it for me. It's fantastic. And it has a machine gun with it. So it's like werewolves and machine guns. I am in.
With this movie, because of so much leather, I got to keep my hands where you can see them because there was a lot of... we got to get this just out of the way right now.
Nate was extra thirsty.
Oh. God, Kate Beckinsale in this movie. 2003
Kate Beckinsale, man. That
2022 Kate Beckinsale, but good Lord, this 2003, 2006. I don't know when the other movies came out, but yeah, this unlocked a crush I forgot about existing.
That was, let's see. So
I am trying to stay calm.
2023 is what? 15-year-old Nate?
See, 2003, I believe so.
Yeah, so that is your like awakening character. You know, like they make the memes of like the girl from Wonder Years, Winnie, and Kelly Kapowski from Saved by the Bell for like my generation. You know, it's like that awakening every adolescent boy had. Nate has Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah, little 15-year-old edgelord Nate, who's like, oh, I too am dark and mysterious, Miss Beckinsale. I too know about the metal. Oh, I think I want to visit golf clubs now.
Nate's booking a flight to Bulgaria. He's like, this is my identity now. This is how the rest of my life.
You don't
shall be
understand me, Mom
shaped."
and Dad. I am leather.
Dad would understand after he watched the movie. I can guarantee you that. He'd be like, That's fine, son. Pursue your dream. It would
Do
be
what you gotta
totally
do,
fine."
boy. Oh boy,
It
I
is,
am
yeah.
not gonna thirst over Kate Beckinsale the whole episode. But what a beauty.
Dude, it's funny because I was reading up on it and I knew she had married
The director, Lynn
the
Wiseman, because of this
Lynn
movie.
Lynn
Which
Wiseman.
also, I should have made Underworld. That's what I should have done with
Mm.
my life.
But do you
I was
know
also
there's
15, so it was not
yeah.
possible.
Do you know there's someone else in this movie that is attached to her?
You mean like Scott Stapp being in this movie? Man. Early 2000s.
Holy crap.
What a time.
No, she was married to Lucian, the guy that plays Lucian in this
Michael
movie.
Sheen?
Michael Sheen. They have a kid all before this
Awkward.
movie. Yeah. Yeah. I guess they're all just real cool with each other and stuff. Like they even had like I'm gonna call him Scott Stapp the entire time, but Scott Speedman. Like
no, it's Scott Stapp.
it's Scott.
It's Scott Stapp. You don't even know if that was the clip or if that was Nate.
I was ready. Then like he goes over for cookouts at Kate Beckinsale's and Lynn's house. I don't think they're married anymore, but they were married for a while. But like Scott Speedman would be over there all the time. So I was just like, man, these are just like, oh, it's cool. Yeah, just work with my ex-wife, and you can kiss her. That's cool. And the director's like, okay, you're gonna kiss her, and it's just so weird that dynamic. Like even the Kate Beckinsale and Lucian, I can't remember his name. Michael Sheen's daughter is in this movie.
Oh, really?
She was in one of the flashbacks as the young Kate Beckinsale, Celine. So it's like everybody in the family's in this for some reason or another. And then I'm like, okay, Lucian's a badass and I love him. Like, I'm going to say it now. Like, we're doing the first Underworld, but I love the prequel movie of the Underworlds.
That's the funny thing when watching this. The only reason I remember the prequel movie is because of it being a prequel, and they got lucky by hiring that one actress that happens to look so much like Kate Beckinsale.
She was in the running for Celine before Underworld. They both auditioned for the role. So they still like knew of her. What version of Underworld did you watch? Did you own it and watch it?
Yeah, like I own the digital copy from like years ago, and like
Yeah.
it's the only version I've ever known is just the standard R-rated one.
Well,
Unless
there's
like a different version.
So it's always the standard R-rated version. But I guess in 2017, when the first 4K UHD came out, they replaced all of the old flashbacks with flashbacks from Rise of the Lichen.
Oh, really?
So they put so that it all stays continuity wise. So all of Lucian's like flashbacks, the ones that
where he's getting like whipped and stuff, and they're
yeah,
killing his, like
the one
his
Scott
wife.
Stapp is experiencing.
Yeah,
It's all clips from Rise of the Lichens. And honestly, I'm watching it last night going, I love this. Like this works so much better if you like watch them in succession. That but I love that. Yeah.
I don't remember anything about Evolution. I remember watching a pirated copy of that from Cody, I think. And I think there might have been a helicopter and a shotgun in it.
Dude, there's werewolf bodyguards. There's a dude living in a mansion that
I don't remember. And then like I know I've seen the 4 and 5, but I don't remember them either.
Awakening.
One of them's like in the snow or something like that, right?
That's Blood War. So Awakening is number 4, Blood War's number 5.
Yeah, like I don't recall.
They had I know the guy when I see his face, but he's a redheaded dude. He's always like a ginger guy that plays a bad guy. I want to say in Awakening. So essentially, it's like her and Scott Stapp have a daughter, and
Nice.
they capture her and Celine, and the daughter gets away, and Celine's still like
That's the
connected
thing.
to
I was like,
her.
is Scott Stapp in the other ones? And it's like I just couldn't remember.
Yeah,
So,
I mean they keep that same character all the way through, other than the prequel one, which even Ray's from this movie is in the prequel with Lucian,
he
which
wrote
Ray's
this, didn't he?
is. Yes, he did. That is Grievous. I want to say is how you say his last name, Grievous.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That dude's voice
It's his real
is
voice.
it's his real freaking.
just talk like this.
It's not that pales in comparison. Like your
No, that was a really bad deep voice.
your
I shouldn't have tried that one.
eardrums reverberate when this man talks, and they thought it was like done for the movie because he's a werewolf, and no, that's how this dude talks. I'm there for it, and I love the fact that he's in the third one too. So, all right, let's knock the trailer out. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do
Let's
it.
get this trailer. Let's get everybody in the mood.
The war itself had become more perilous. The weapons had evolved. But our orders remained the same. Hunt them down and kill them off, one by one.
They are the immortal damned. One family lusting for power and wealth.
The chain has never been broken, not in 14 centuries.
Another driven by revenge.
Soon we'll defeat the vampires on their own ground.
Do you see this human? He's attractive. I can't be positive, but I'm beginning to think the lichens are following him.
Hello, Michael.
Why are they after you?
Who are you people?
You're in the middle of a war that's been raging for the better part of 1,000 years. A blood feud between vampires and lichens. Werewolves.
Now, a decision must be made.
Why did you bring him here? He saved my life.
Between an oath sworn centuries ago
A human. He's not a human at all. He's a lichen.
and a power
There can be no such union.
greater than vengeance.
You'll be lucky if I can convince the council to spare your life. Absolution will be yours the moment you kill Michael.
Underworld.
Underworld.
I absolutely adore in the movie when she's like, lichens, werewolves. Like, maybe it's just the nerd in me. But I'm like, I feel like everyone would be like, oh yeah, werewolves. You didn't really have to explain that part to me.
No,
Like,
no.
no, she
As
had to
early-
inform him.
As early as this movie came out, people didn't know lichen was another word for werewolf. I mean, this is made for the masses, and it's like, ooh, what's a lichen?
Well,
It's
don't
a
worry, Miss
werewolf.
Beckinsale. I knew.
Nate knew. Nate's on the same wavelength.
I'm
as
on. Our auras match one another.
Hmm.
Did you know that?
Mm.
I don't know
That's-
why. Even I myself just changed my seating position into a
He
much more
totally.
Jeff Goldblum sexy.
Nate is giving off a sexy Jeff Goldblum.
This is going to be the sexiest episode we've ever done.
And I'm the only
It's
one
going to be a lot of
watching it.
tension.
I'm
Yeah.
the only one seeing this, and I'm
We're feeling
I
a
don't
lot
like
of
it.
tension here.
I need Steven and Leo here with me right now. I shouldn't be alone. I need an adult. I need an adult.
Don't know why.
Oh,
I decided to make myself much more approachable.
It's getting steamy. Let's see how much more steamy we can get with the back of the
Oh,
DVD.
It's going to
What do
be
you think?
steamy. Yeah.
Let's get steamy. All right, here we go. Get my music ready. In the underworld, vampires are a secret clan of modern aristocratic sophisticates whose mortal enemies are the lichens (werewolves). a shrewd gang of street thugs who prowl the city's underbelly. No one knows the origin of their bitter blood feud, but the balance of power between them turns even bloodier when a beautiful young vampire warrior and a newly turned lichen with a mysterious past fall in love. Kate Beckinsale and Scott Speedman star in this modern-day, action-packed tale of ruthless intrigue and forbidden passion, all set against the dazzling black backdrop of a timeless, gothic metropolis. Like, did they really not expect anyone to read that out loud? I'm like,
Oh, I know I didn't read it because I remember watching the trailer for this and thinking, oh, this would be a perfect first date. Oh, little teenage Nate could now take another little, I guess, emo kid to go see the emo movie.
your Kate Beckinsale,
My little high school
yeah,
Kate Beckinsale.
your high school Kate Beckinsale. There you go.
I didn't have a date, so I had to wait until the movie came out on
Proxy. That was the word I was
DVD
trying
to
think
watch
of.
it.
You needed a Kate Beckinsale proxy.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
that didn't happen. So Dad and I rented it when it came out.
Well, I took Jackie to see this. We watched this in theater. I think I've seen every Underworld in theater except for the last one, The Blood War,
Gotcha.
which I honestly don't know if that one made it to theater. So maybe I've seen all of them that actually got
Maybe, I don't know.
theatrical release.
I mean, it was awfully sweet of you to pick the most romantic movie that we've ever covered on the podcast.
Yeah.
I
As
mean,
much as
I was
Pete
looking
wants
at
to
it.
say Thirst is a
Oh, Thirst is a beautiful love story. But
yeah, this
you
was
definitely
better.
have picked a romantic film for our Halloween entry.
I did, man. I
Yep.
did. And it's
Two star-crossed lovers. One a vampire, one a human, then a half werewolf, then a half werewolf vampire human.
guy goes through a lot in this movie.
Got a
man.
lot going on.
I feel for Scott Stapp, and yeah, I'm doing that the entire episode. Y'all just
That makes
buck-
sense.
buckle up every time I
That
talk
does
about
make
it.
sense. Now, with this being 2003,
Hmm.
you know, a little movie had came out right before this with leather and guns. Little
Yeah.
independent film called The Matrix.
Yes,
So, in my head, here's how it happened with this movie. Studio executive takes a line of coke, as always,
always Coke.
and goes, "The Matrix was pretty cool, but what if we had The Matrix with werewolves and vampires?"
That's basically this.
This is this movie.
This is the love child of Blade and the Matrix.
Yeah,
That's
like,
what this movie
Someone
is.
went, "Well, we can do that." And I gotta say, there's one thing about this movie that I still am like, why is this so cool? You ready?
I'm ready. I'm on
It's
the
the
edge of my
UV
seat.
bullets. Why do I think UV bullets are so cool?
Because they glow, man.
They glow. They
Yeah.
harness the power of the sun in a bullet. Silver
Yep.
bullets, that makes sense. It's
Yeah.
the test of time. It works for werewolves. But obviously, if we're going to have our werewolves shooting at vampires, bullets ain't going to do shit to them. So we got to be creative. And yet we harness the power of the sun into
Yep.
the bullets.
Yep. I mean, yeah.
I don't argue with it.
No. Well, no, because we'd already seen Blade, who had all kinds of different weapons to battle vampires.
He didn't have UV bullets, did he?
No, he didn't get UV powers till the second one where they made the UV
But that was like the
bombs.
flashlights and stuff. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they had the bombs where him and the guy from The Walking Dead, they made the little like flash grenades, and they wipe everybody out. And I think Silver hurt vampires in Blade, but they don't hurt vampires.
I mean, they barely
in-
hurt werewolves in this movie. All the vampires' ammo is powerful weak.
Yeah, so
You had one werewolf literally pull out the silver with his hand and like
yeah,
toss
flick
to
it
the
away. Well,
side.
that's why the vampires upped their game even more and like reverse engineered the UV round to be silver nitrate rounds, which I think is freaking awesome as well, to be
Which was
honest.
cool. It looks like paintballs going off every time someone gets shot.
It looks like my Warhammer paints, and I've got one called like Lead Belcher, and that's exactly what that is. It's just bleh. But yeah, I mean, we're there for the tech makes sense. The lore makes it. It's always been vampire versus werewolf. I mean, come on, man.
But like this movie does it to where it's an original IP. It feels like
Kinda.
it's based off a comic book.
It's kind of an original IP.
Oh,
They
what's it?
actually got.
What
They
did
actually
did
got.
they steal?
They got. There's nothing out about it that they released, but there was a lady that sued them that developed I want to say it was a game that had a lot of expansions. I want to say it's similar to like probably D&D or some type of thing like
Was it
that.
Vampire the Masquerade?
That might be it. I think that's it. And then there's a werewolf one that was an expansion, and she sued them, and they settled out of court for an undisclosed amount. So
Oh man, that's the other thing. I should have made
yeah,
Underworld, and I need to get like a settlement for coming up with an idea.
yeah,
These
it'll be
are like
fine.
my get rich quick schemes.
I mean, it's just
I don't know if I'm allowed to say it out loud though. Maybe that like doesn't hold up in court.
probably not.
Yeah.
Neither does mailing
You
yourself
know what?
a
I know how to fix
copyright.
that though.
Do you know how to fix that?
Yeah, let the record show that that was a joke.
Let the, let
It's on
the
the record
record
now.
show. Right, it's the
So,
official
You
record of
can't
give
hold
me
me
back
accountable.
my
I do
action
not take
movies.
accountability. Let the record show.
You don't take accountability for anything. Though, let's be fair. Let's be fair.
Now, I had another idea
Hit me.
because if they're going to do the Matrix, but with werewolves and vampires, and we like to reboot stuff every 20 years, and this movie is 19 years old at this point, which is crazy to think about.
It really is. Yeah.
John Wick is the new hotness right now.
So you want John Wick vampires?
Yeah, John Wick vampires versus John Wick werewolves. That's how you
Yeah.
reboot the movie. Do that
I
style
mean,
of action with these.
I could
Because
see
I gotta
that.
say, a lot of this holds up.
Oh, there's nothing
A
about this
lot of the
movie that
gunplay holds up. The CGI transformations of the werewolves
totally
don't look
I
bad.
love it.
And then you
Like,
have the practical effects of the werewolves as well.
well,
Like,
that was another thing
for a
that
modern take on werewolves, this is like with dog soldiers, where it's like, I really like these costumes.
one of my favorite things about the design of this movie, even though I didn't really care for the werewolves, is one of the people that's involved with the actual designs of the werewolves, the vampires, and they've even carried on into the other movies, was a guy named Patrick Tatopoulos. And he was one of the judges on that sci-fi show Face Off, where they would do the competition for special effects.
Oh yeah, I remember watching Face Off. I met, I think it was RJ from season 2 at one of the conventions because I always liked his work.
Yeah, he's one of the few that jumped on the convention circuit because he got pretty far into it.
Yeah, and like I think when I had met him, it was right after he got voted off.
Yeah. So it was just, and like no one, like when I started watching Face Off and seeing who that guy was, and then he would talk about the movies, and it was, he did, I don't know if he did any of the like last two, probably, as in name at least, but that he just kind of carried over into the whole production end of things and the art direction. And that was always like his like flavor. He loved that gothic creature kind of aesthetic to things. And it works. I have very minimal like down things to say about this movie.
Yeah, I don't really have like down things to say. The movie does feel like a Hot Topic family reunion. at
Yeah.
times.
I think that's the one thing that actually dates this movie is the music.
Yeah, you get like that not good 90s industrial. You get that early 2000s cyber industrial that I'm not big on.
Yeah,
It's when we started to get more digitized in our industrial scene, and like it lost a lot of that raw oomph that I've always really liked.
You know, because I always like to go back and play my Matrix the soundtrack vinyl record.
I like it because
And
it's black with like the green
yeah,
coating all on
and
it,
you
and then
know,
when it
and
spins on my turntable, I actually transport into a leather clad world.
and then I play my Underworld, and then I realize that I actually put the records in the wrong slip covers, and one
A-
goes for the other
yeah,
because
it
it's the
always gets
same
mixed
damn
up.
soundtrack. I think there's like this is also when like one particular band that was like famous for like 3 months gets a movie soundtrack deal, and then they
Yeah, like, and then they
disappear.
just disappear. You
They're
never
they're
see them again.
gone. You know, that's how I feel with this one because there is one I didn't even look it up, which I'm going to do that now because it's just that makes things funny whenever you're like, oh yeah, this band's going to be the next Metallica. Nah, by the time the movie even comes out, half the time they've already faded off
They've
of
broken up.
record. Yeah,
Our Underworld money has made it to where we are too big.
yeah, way too big, way too big. Okay. Yeah, this makes sense. The I guess holy crap, she did a bunch. Performed by Danny Lohner, Lohner. But he has backup vocals by Amy Lee.
Oh, that makes sense. And Danny Lohner was actually in Nine Inch Nails, so this all like starts to
Oh,
really, add up. I don't
he
know if he
even
still is in Nine Inch Nails or not. Like, I really haven't paid attention to their career in a while, but yeah, Danny's
no.
definitely in NIN.
But but, you know, you see if you wanted early 2000s, you just, like, looked up Amy Lee. She was
Yeah.
in every soundtrack. So, 'cause
Once again, we have a Hot Topic family reunion going on with this movie.
Evanescence was life, man. Evanescence was life. Oh my god.
One day she will be woken up. One day.
Oh god. It's just a different time, man,
And
and,
I
you know,
think that's why these movies, like, they're a product of their time, and when the sequels come out 12 years later, they don't hit the same because we've moved past that Matrix, style. And
yeah.
in 2013, 2016, those other two sequels, like, ah, we're kind of floating aimlessly waiting for John Wick to happen.
Well, and that was another thing, like, when Underworld came out, based on the Canadian that's what I'm saying, based on the Canadian box office, they greenlit the sequel and the prequel
Which
right as
shows,
they
like,
got the opening
they had
weekend numbers.
confidence in this lore that they built and in the
Oh, yeah.
world that they had created with this. And, like, I love that it's just like, well, werewolves and vampires, they just fight each other. Like, one of them
Yeah.
raided another one's village, and that one made him unhappy, so now it's forever a blood feud.
See, you're gonna have to watch the other two because it's a little bit more
A little bit more
complicated
than that.
than
Well,
that.
on the surface level of the first one, and that's the only one that we're covering, there's a blood feud. And you know what? Maybe one of the other parties involved doesn't know they're in a blood feud. That happens sometimes.
Sometimes that does happen. Blood
Sometimes
feuds are a
you don't
thing.
know you're in a blood feud until you're in a blood feud.
You can be in several and have no idea you're in several blood feuds.
And next thing you know, you're just trying to figure out why you got machine guns getting pointed
Yeah,
at you.
You're
Which,
standing there like John Travolta in the middle of the living room going, I don't know which way to go.
you're just looking to figure out where to put your jacket
I have
in the middle of a blood feud.
There's a drink that I can get mixed, a
Now,
Bloody Mary
because
feud.
the blood feud's been going on for 6,000 years or whatever, 600 years.
600.
Yeah, so
Jesus,
not that
mate.
long.
You just finished the movie like not 30 minutes ago.
This is true. And sometimes I add extra zeros after stuff. That means there's a transition period in their lives. That
Okay.
means there is a part where they go from using swords to muskets to machine guns. So now I have to wonder which clan got access to the machine guns first.
Vampires.
Okay. So I feel like the vampires should have won instantly then. I feel like they were holding back. They didn't want to end the war. They wanted to keep the war going on for a la profits.
Well, again, you watched the movie, right? I mean, that's kind of the entire underlying theme to the movie, that there were deals
I just feel
happening.
like one of them would have gotten shot by. They would have had like, we've always had these bullets, and then like 7 bullets hit one of them really
Okay,
quick, and then his friend went, "Holy shit, bullets go that fast these days? Why don't we have those kind of technology?"
but remember, maybe they didn't have as much access to silver bullets, so they were just getting
Oh,
a
this is
lot
true.
of
We do have
owies.
to wait for the science to catch up in this war.
Yeah,
So
that's I
that's
mean,
why you have silver whips, which you never bring a silver whip to a werewolf fight.
why would you carry those on your
Why would you
shoulders?
carry 2 whips?
That looked way uncomfortable, and B, like he didn't look like a football player before he took his trench coat off.
I'm not here to kink shame or anything like that, but you just don't carry your whips around with you.
Not like that. And I mean to
They were
have
wrapped
two,
around him. Like, what if
that
he
was
were to
his thing.
fall?
Right, right? This is that whole thing where apparently silver has no bearing on vampires, because that was, and I don't know if that's your thing, maybe you should have some spatial awareness of when you pull them
Right?
out.
That's the other thing. If you're going to pull out your whips, you should really make sure you know what's behind you and what's to the left of you and to the right,
Yeah.
Do you have clearance to use those whips?
Yeah, it's not a close quarter weapon.
No.
And when
You
you're
got
in
to
a
have some
sewer,
distance. And also, you got to realize if you're going to whip something that is attacking you, you're just making it angry.
which is what he did, like the werewolf just was like, "Yeah, okay, you have some fancy whips, but that silver ain't gonna stick in me.
Yeah,
All you're
it's
gonna do
not
is
like,
cut me."
yeah, like he could deal with some paper cuts.
Oh, that's all it was. Just like a lot of paper cuts. I don't know. It's got cool aesthetics. I love all the weapons. I do have a hard time with the armorer dude for the vampires, because he was kind of the not so sharp one from Snatch that ran the pawn shop, and he got the replica guns. I was like, is he making a bunch of replicas in the armory?
Oh, I'm getting those ones mixed up with my real guns.
That's right, man. You got to
The
test fire.
movie, I guess my biggest complaint is the movie has a lot of great action scenes.
That's a
And that's
complaint?
not a complaint.
That's
The
the
complaint
weirdest
is the movie
segue.
has a lot of unnecessary storyline with it that I don't care to have in my action movie of this caliber. With all of its lore building and stuff, there are moments where there's so much exposition happening where I'm just like, get back to just shooting each other.
This is where
Because there are 3 bad guys in this movie
yeah,
at one point. Like,
yeah.
like it's just like, oh, Victor's the bad guy. No, Lucian's the bad guy. Actually, it's this guy. Sideburns
Craven.
is.
Craven.
Craven. Yeah, Craven's worth. Wait, no.
Craven's
Just Craven.
word. It's just Craven. You
That's what we do in the
just
shadows.
finished the movie. Literally just finished it. But no, yeah, I really believe they fully intended for multiple movies.
And they got that wish.
They did,
By
and
all
honestly,
means.
that is the best way to watch these, is to 1, 2, 3, 4, or
And
not 4, 1, 2, 3.
With the way this movie ends, where it sets up the last remaining high vampire elder, I was like, okay, obviously part 2, we're dealing with Marcus. I don't remember that, so now I got it does intrigue me to watch the sequel, which is a good thing that a movie should do. Like a movie should end and you go, all right, I do want the next one. That's what this movie does well.
The sequel's amazing. I mean, honestly, you feel like it's all one movie. You watch 1 and 2, and it's great. And then like when the third one come out, we were like, holy shit, we're gonna get the backstory of what led Lucian into what he wanted to do against the vampires, was phenomenal. And honestly, they could have stopped there. I didn't need,
And it could be also why I don't remember 4 and 5 too much. It's because you decided to make the third one the prequel. And prequels are hard to do because usually you lose your sense of suspension or like what's going to happen because you kind of already know the end game. you know.
But that's the beauty of it, is the way the story deals with the first, with the prequel, the first chapter, is it works. You don't feel like they tagged it on. It doesn't feel like, oh, we had a really good 2 movies, we should do a prequel. I think the prequel was in mind from the get-go. There is a whole I want you to watch it, but honestly, man, there's like this whole thing of you find out why Bill Nighy's character
Well,
was
that's the thing that's
so
impressive. The fact that they were able to keep Bill Nighy and the fact they could keep Martin Sheen involved at the 3rd one,
yeah.
and having their characters killed off in this movie.
It's kind of wild. And honestly, they look, you buy it. It's not like, I think because they were able to film it so quickly in succession, it's not like they were aged 15 years, in order to do a prequel, that's the other thing that hurts when you finally go, well, this franchise needs a prequel. Yeah, but that was from like 12 years ago. Everyone's older, especially if there's a kid involved. It's like, you're not going to get a prequel, that's going to line up right. It feels so disjointed, but this one does. And again, the casting of Sonya, because of how close she looks to Kate Beckinsale in the first one, it just works. It really does. I know we're talking about the first one, but I'm serious with these movies. It's 1, 2, 3. You watch them in that succession
That's
because
one of the fun
it's
things
one
of
whole
doing
story.
something like this. It was like, oh, now it does make me want to go and watch the other ones. But I gotta find time. Like, we just did Sleepy Hollow, and I promised I was gonna watch Sweeney Todd before the recording of this, and I didn't get time to watch Sweeney Todd.
Shenanigans.
Well, I've been driving. I've been on vacation, moving.
I mean, you've had like 27 vacations.
You work at a place for a long time, you get a lot of PTO time.
I've worked for myself for a long time. I don't get no PTO.
You should take the time off. Your boss is a real asshole.
When you work for yourself, there is no such thing as PTO.
Real asshole.
You can take time
Stand
off.
by what I'm saying as I stare at him.
No, I totally get you're calling me an asshole. And you
he
don't
got the
know
joke.
You don't know it, but we just started a blood feud. So as we fight out this blood feud that you just started, that we're going to go ahead and hit a commercial real quick, and we'll settle this blood feud while everyone else gets entertained.
The Transformers will return after these messages.
Just how drunk are we gonna get?
Welcome to Good Beer, Bad Movie Night, where each month we drink finely crafted brews while watching terrible films in order to see just how drunk you have to get to enjoy them. So tune in and join Troy.
Killboy Kreitz.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Thank you.
Dave.
I have the weirdest boner.
And Pete.
IPAs are ales, meaning they are bottom fermented. Excuse me, they are top fermented. I that up. Try that again.
As we drag Kathleen,
Hear me.
kicking and screaming through an alcohol-fueled podcast dedicated to movies of questionable quality and the frosty adult beverages that help make them tolerable. Good Beer, Bad Movie Night. Clearly, it's the beer's fault.
Hands up!
Madball, Madball.
Welcome to the wacky world of Madball action figures, a world of good guys.
Attack, Skullface! Get under his brain! Up with your head, Archaeosaurus!
Defend yourself, Slobulus. Gotcha, Screaming Mimi.
And bad guys.
Wolf breath. Phoenix feather! Heads off, Blockman!
Wow! And you can switch heads from body to body. It's a world of funny friends and frenzied fun. The world of Madball action figures with head-poppin' fun.
From Amtoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, the podcast that's based on the old school, but can still help you find the good stuff from today. Jimmy Street and the Plastic Sheik, Jared, are the undisputed tag team champions of the wrestling podcast world. From thought-provoking topics to superstar interviews to action figure expertise. This team does it all, and all they ask is, give me back my pro wrestling! Every other Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
We now return to the Transformers.
All right, just to update everybody, the blood feud's still on.
Okay. Well, you know what? You know who I don't have a blood feud with?
Who do you not have? Kate Beckinsale.
Well, there's that. There's another very sexy character in this movie.
Oh, there's Craven.
Oh, no, there's another sexy character in this movie.
Lucian.
Oh, no, there's actually another sexy character in this movie.
Okay, tell me who the other sexy character is in this.
Bill Nighy.
That was going to be my next guess, but
I figured you were going to eventually get to Victor. But
eventually, I was going to get to Victor.
Man, Bill Nighy's awesome in this, and he's barely in the movie.
He has a presence in movies.
Oh,
period.
he always will. Like it's like if I don't know that Bill Nighy's in a movie and he pops up, I light up so much because he could be in a movie for only 10 minutes. But damn it, he is like Lance Henriksen, where it's like those are going to be 10 incredible minutes.
There was a movie he popped up in that I wasn't expecting it, and it's not what even I expect out of Bill Nighy, but he was in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and he shows
forever.
He shows up at the end to take the guy to the new Earth that they're building, and just his mannerisms and how he talks in that, you're like, it's Bill Nighy, you can't hide it. But it was just so, to me, out of character for him, but I loved it so much.
I feel like he's a big nerd. I feel like he's one of us. Like when you look at everything he's always in, he's always popping in to weird, fun stuff. So when he pops up in this, it's like he's an actual vampire, so it makes sense.
But I buy it. I buy him as like this ruthless, cold-blooded
elder vampire.
Yeah, it's all about the coven. It's all about survival. I mean, what they did with Bill Nighy blows away every like main villain for the Blade franchise. Like,
yeah,
period.
Definitely. Like if there was ever a crossover that I wish could have happened, it would have been, instead of like Blade Trinity having that terrible Dracula, Bill Nighy. You know?
Yeah, Bill Nighy. And, you know, I'm not knocking like the character of like Deacon Frost or anything like that, but always like the elder vampires. Just I didn't feel any impact from him, even in the second one, you know, where he's all like decrepit and shit. What I like most though is they kind of did that with Bill Nighy, and he got stronger. He comes out of hibernation decrepit, and you're like, oh, okay, so he's just this old vampire, and he's getting like rejuvenated.
Yeah, it's like as he gets blood in him, which I think is another cool thing that this movie does, where you have 3 vampire elders and they rotate their time with one another of who rules.
As much as you were talking like it needed, you know, less talk, more action, there's a lot of world building in this movie.
There is maybe so much sequel lore. Gives me more of my action that I'm wanting.
Honestly, it gives you like the same amount of action, but just as good storytelling. And again, I'd rather you just experience it, because I could talk you through it. Because I literally,
they don't want to hear that.
I watch these movies all the time. I really do. I own them. Yes, I rented it last night because I wanted it in HD, and I'm so glad I did, because the HD version has the flashbacks replaced with the third movie. And I can't say that enough. I loved that they did that. It just fits so well.
Works.
But it's just, I've always loved, that's why Jackie and I have watched all of them when they come out in theaters, except for the last one, which, you know, I should look up and see if that even came out in theaters, which I
maybe
think it
but
did.
Like Bill Nighy being like this presence in the movie towards the tail end, and as he's rejuvenating, even before he rejuvenates, there's a punch he throws in this movie that is brutal, where it's like you have like the Nazi werewolf doctor. He's German. Doesn't mean he's necessarily Nazi, I guess, but he's got some Nazi vibes to him.
He was there. He saw it happen. Whether he was involved.
He didn't try to stop things, I don't think.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
That's
but then
right.
Bill Nighy punches the shit out of him, and you see his entire cheekbone and flesh rip apart.
Yeah,
and he falls on the ground.
Fall apart. Yeah.
And like, look, Bill is not a youngin' by any means when this movie came out. But he's fierce. I wouldn't want to mess with him.
He is. Honestly, I think the only part I would have changed is his fist fight with Scott Speedman at the end. Is when he's fighting the hybrid and they're throwing punches, and it's just like almost like they're throwing wild haymakers. They're so far apart from
Oh
each
yeah,
other.
like he's throwing some like crazy ones where he's leaving himself wide open,
Yeah,
and he's also doing a lot of like Bill Nighy noises of just like hissing, I guess.
he really got into the vampire.
Yeah.
But like that makes me laugh, but the way he was actually like talking in dialogue just worked. He would overemphasize certain parts of the word, and he just felt like another creature, like a creature of the night, even when he's talking. And it was I know he has an accent and everything, and it's not quite Christopher Walken, but he had just the right amount of pause or draw on his dialogue.
He does what he does best in this movie.
Yeah. Oh, 100%, man. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything miscast in this movie whatsoever.
No, like even
I
Kate Beckinsale, it's like, why are you not in more action movies? Like, she has such a stern, badass face in this movie. She is cold. She is fast. She's a badass. There's a scene where she's in a corset and in leather. I'm like, that makes no sense to fight in, but she's making it work.
I'm kicking myself because I know what the other movie we should have picked for this month was. Damn it.
Is there another Kate Beckinsale action movie I'm not thinking of?
Yep.
Really?
Van Helsing.
Oh, God, you'd make me watch Van Helsing again?
And you know what else is in it?
Hugh Jackman.
Werewolves and machine guns.
Ah, damn.
They have the Gatling gun machine gun in that
I
movie.
just remember CGI in that movie being so terrible and like stupid, and like bad toys came out from that, and like,
oh, damn it, why did I not pick that? I'm still happy with the one I picked.
2023.
Totally 2023 Halloween is gonna be Van Helsing.
2023. God, can we skip that year just all together now? Like,
but it's got Kate Beckinsale.
Oh, damn it. That's how you pull me in.
Kate Beckinsale and Hugh Jackman? Come on.
Hugh Jackman, you son of a bitch. Too sexy for your own good. Too much sexual tension in this episode. I told you.
I win the blood feud.
I gotta fan myself down.
I have won the blood feud. That's how it is. I reign superior. Oh my God, man. But yeah.
We cannot stress enough like how fast Kate Beckinsale is. She gives us, it's an iconic moment where she's shooting on the ground just in circles and falls down. And I love it because it's her escape plan. And it's like, all you did was create a hole and the werewolves could just go in the hole. And they don't. But it looks so cool.
It would have been funnier had a werewolf been under it when it fell. Because it was like 12 inches of concrete she shot through. I want to say
unloaded.
Mythbusters tested that. And
I believe it. I believe they would try
it didn't work.
But they would also then have to deal with, like, you have to have a pistol with unlimited ammo.
Yeah, there's a lot of automatic pistol fire.
I don't care
in
about
this.
that ever in any movie, though. Like,
it doesn't.
Come on, it's an action movie. You're supposed to have unlimited ammo to just start shooting shit nonstop. The opening scene of this movie, where they're just blasting in the subway.
In the subway, no,
fantastic.
I love it. You also get that great shot of Kate Beckinsale throwing like the vampire ninja stars into the werewolf.
You get a lot of she does a lot of tumbles, like a lot of dives and stuff like that. Not diving while shooting like John Woo type movies, but just a lot of rolling around, hiding underneath cover. We get like great explosions of scenery.
The slow motion flips where she'll flip over something and
while
it's like
shooting.
Yeah, she'll be shooting stuff at that.
I mean, Scott Stapp could have done more cool stuff instead of just like run around wondering what's going on.
You gotta keep me updated. That's another thing that I think I was
he's pretty much wasteful in this movie until the very end, and he's a blue werewolf. Or is he blue? I'm colorblind.
He did have a blue hue to him,
looked
but
like
there's
he
a
was
lot
blue.
of black. That was one of the other things I felt like they were setting it up really well. Like whenever Bill Nighy jumps down to fight him, how fast Michael is, and every time Bill Nye would turn around, Michael's
There he
standing there.
is.
There he is. There he is. But then they stopped doing that, and he's
Well,
not as fast during the
dexterity.
fight.
If you're not doing a lot of dexterity training, you're going to
He
be
didn't-
slow after
didn't have
you
this-
use your special power like twice. You're drained.
He didn't have the stamina.
Yeah, that's the
keep doing
problem.
it.
You got to do a lot of cardio, even as a werewolf.
A lot of cardio. Can't skip leg day either.
Yeah.
But no, I think that was one of the other like little. It was mostly the fight at the end. That was the way they tried to make. It's like Godzilla and King Kong were fighting, but they treated it like they were that big, and they weren't. It should have been a lot more close quarter fighting styles.
Especially this movie does a lot of great wire work.
Oh, it's all wire work.
You know,
And
like a lot of
the other
wire work, and when you
reason-
see people like flying and stuff like that. And there is a part of me like I remember there was a moment in time where I hated wire work and hated wire work stunts because it was like, oh, this looks so dumb.
Yeah.
But then like watching this, I was like, man, I do kind of miss that. Now I should clarify. Wire work that's like in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
martial art movies.
Always have absolutely loved House of a Thousand Dragons or Flying Daggers, whatever that movie was called that came out
Yeah.
shortly after that.
Mhm.
That type of stuff has always been very elegant and beautiful to me. It was like the wire work that we got just straight after the Matrix. That 2002 to 2006 era was just a lot of like, let's slow down every bullet and make sure that everyone is doing a lot of like crazy jumps.
That wire work that Austin Powers made fun of with Fat Bastard when he goes
Yeah,
flying through the air.
exactly.
One of my wires broke. Oh, isn't this magical? Isn't this amazing?
It's just it's so funny to me like how we can go back after time and go, well, I kind of miss that now. There was a moment where I got oversaturated with it. Then you get away from it and you go, oh, you know what? Maybe once in a while we could use this again.
Look, man, I
know
think this-
one thing that I will never want to have to come back.
What do you not want to come back?
Shaky cam.
God, dude, it keeps trying, doesn't it? How many new movies have you seen that still bring out shaky cam? Like, I don't need to feel like I'm running with
There's
the guy.
a reason why, like the Bourne Identity movies, I don't really remember. It's because you just don't see anything.
They all blend into one basic movie is
Yeah.
why I don't remember them. And the only reason like the one Jeremy Renner stands out is because it's Jeremy Renner and not Matt Damon. I think it's Ultimatum or something like that.
I honestly forgot that even happened.
Yeah.
Because didn't they do the same thing with Mission Impossible, I think? Isn't he just appear in one of them?
Well, he shows up in two of them. Don't begrudge my Mission Impossible movies. I love Mission Impossible.
I like that last one.
I like
Henry
all of them.
Cavill. No, I like them. Like I can't say I hate them. It's just they're the same thing. Like they kind of blend into me.
No,
They're
there's
cool,
a-
but they just
there's-
kind of blend in.
There's a
And that's a lot of it because they don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like they go like Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, Rogue.
It's
Ghost
just because you don't
Protocol.
want to remember what the word is.
That's all it is. I have a really hard time remembering subtitles.
I mean, it's subtitles. It's good stuff. Don't badmouth my Tom Cruise. I like Mission Impossible. Those are
Too when Henry Cavill lock and loaded his arms like they were guns.
Dude.
It was cool.
That is one of my favorite scenes in that.
It's a
movie.
really cool scene.
My God, Superman's about to beat your ass.
Yeah, when he has to lock and load his arms. It's like, oh God, I don't want to get hit by that.
No. I submit. Why are we talking about Mission Impossible? We're supposed to be spooky this month. Why are we not spooky?
Ooh, Bill Nighy.
I don't know. We haven't even talked about the movie, really, just the aesthetics of it. But I think that's
We
what
did this with
stands
Sleepy
out.
Hollow, though.
But you know what? I think that's what stands out about these movies. It's not so much the story, even though it's great. It's the aesthetics and what I remember the first time I saw this movie and why I can revisit it so many times.
The last time I watched this movie was on a plane. I remember like loading it onto my tablet to watch.
Were there snakes?
No.
No snakes on the plane?
Yep, none of that one actually. Got lucky.
Not
They
that
are
one.
pandemic.
The other one. They
We
are.
don't talk about the other one.
I think it's called an epidemic.
Oh, not a pandemic.
Probably not.
don't know.
We defeated that already.
Yeah, that's gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. I don't watch the news.
I'll stay tuned. Well, not like this is one of those movies that I have watched quite a bit and that I have revisited. It's been a couple years with this one, but even then, before that, it would have been like a couple years. So maybe once every 3 to 4 years, I watch this.
Mine's about once a year.
You know,
I run through them about once a year. Not the last two. I do 1, 2, 3. And I'll do it in that succession. I won't watch them out of order. I feel it's just weird when I watch them out of order. But it's just a movie that just it's hard to put into words. The 2000s are an era, but to me that was only 5 years ago in my brain.
Oh, it's strange to think that it's 19 years ago with this movie.
Yeah, that
it honestly doesn't seem right.
It is so odd to look at because to me it was that new when it came out. Like that was the 2000s. That was the future. The 2000s was everything went futuristic. Matrix, Underworld, music
Well,
got
it's that
more
Y2K, the new millennium.
Yeah,
like, we had to make sure
computers.
everything be computers, which even in this movie they have computer digital cameras that can enhance on Scott Stapp, and then you could totally tell that's Scott Stapp.
I was
Thank
a little
you.
slow on the draw.
You
for
were.
that. My bad. Oh, you said it twice. There you go. I made these for a reason. You know, it's actually in the trivia on IMDb of how scary close Scott Speedman looks to Scott Stapp. And I was when I was pulling up the video, I pulled up the videos for Creed, and I was like, they could be brothers.
I
Like,
just figured they
I'm
did
not
on purpose.
joking. It was just like, holy crap. You could like switch one of them in the other's role. No one would know at all. At least in 2003. I don't know what either one of them look like now. I didn't bother to look up. Well, only thing I remember the most about Scott Stapp, and it's probably one of the greatest things to ever happen, and it's actually made Columbus somewhat famous when I lived in Columbus, was when Scott Stapp got mad and stormed out of the radio booth on
That
the
happened in
Blitz.
Columbus?
I was at the Blitz.
Oh my God, I don't remember that happening.
That was that. That was they asked him about one of the hosts had met him and like he was an ass, like Scott Stapp was an asshole to him. Well, he got to come into the studio and he asked Scott Stapp about that. He's like, "You were an asshole to me." And Scott Stapp ripped the mic and everything off of him and stormed out of the interview.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That was the Blitz in Columbus, dude. I will never forget that. I was like, holy. My buddy Rob was just huge into Creed, man. I had to listen to that stupid band at work
poor
all the time. And I'm like, dude, we got to stop it with this. And I
No
was
one
like,
listens to Creed this much. Not even Creed.
Not even Creed listens to Creed this much. Oh my God, yeah, that was nightmare. That triggered me. I didn't like. I knew I had to pull the sound bites, but I did not like the what I had to do to get them.
You had to listen to Creed. That was what you had to do.
Do not recommend. 1 out of 10. Do not recommend. All right, man. Anything else we want to talk about the movie before we get into all the other fun stuff we do?
Well, Charlie, usually I have werewolf occupationals to cover.
Yeah, there's werewolves in this movie.
I didn't do that this time.
Aw.
I know. Because this was a very sexy and very tension-filled movie.
Yeah.
I decided to do romantic werewolf movies.
Done. I don't have a drop for you though. I don't.
Werewolves are allowed to fall in love too.
Here. That's the best I got for you.
Did Creed ever write a love song? Maybe we'll that's in post.
I'm not searching for that.
Okay. Well, you know what? Are you ready for these?
Sure, hit me.
First up, we have When Harry Met Harry.
Oh my God.
It's about two werewolves who sniff each other's butts and fall in love. I created this entire segment so I could write the sentence, who sniff each other's butts.
I fully believe that. Wow.
And because they're dogs and they're werewolves and they're hairy. Get it?
They're lichens.
I was pretty. That's a werewolf. So, next up,
They're
we have
werewolf romantic movies.
Yeah.
They're lichens.
10 Full Moons I Hate About You.
Jesus Christ.
This is about a werewolf that can't go on a date unless their sister goes on a date with the local teen wolf. I found a way to combine the two.
My God.
He's a basketball player.
Oh my! Oh, yeah. He was. Oh my God!
Ready for this one? The 40-year-old werewolf virgin. It's about a werewolf pack trying to help their friend get laid, and he finds love along the way.
A lot of leg humping in that movie, huh?
There is, and the waxing scene is still intact.
Wow. Oh wow! Yeah. Holy shit! The waxing scene on a werewolf.
It's there. Yep.
That was not a picture I needed painted in my brain today.
Well, everyone needed to picture a werewolf getting waxed.
When they do it, though, it looks like a man in the moon instead of a smiley face.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Next up. Don't worry, I got 2 more.
Oh, good.
I got The Werewolf Singer. This is about a werewolf that has a wedding singer looking for love.
Oh, The Wedding Singer. Okay.
Yep. The Werewolf Singer.
I never really cared for that Adam Sandler movie.
Oh, I really like that one. I just revisited it not too long ago.
Just something about that one. I'm a Billy Madison guy.
This one's a little bit more of a deeper cut, only because I had just watched the movie to, help me with my depression. And it is Eternal Sunshine of the Werewolf Mind. This one's about it's going to break you. It's about a werewolf trying to forget about its past lover. It's not a happy movie.
I would have possibly done it the eternal moonlight of the werewolf lover.
Damn it! Why didn't I think of that?
It's okay,
it was right
man.
there.
It was right there in front of you the whole time.
I am so upset with myself.
It's okay, man.
Eternal full moon. Eternal moon.
The eternal moonlight. Because, they wouldn't be werewolves in sunshine.
They would not. And
wow.
The sunshine would protect them from the vampires, though, in the great vampire versus werewolf war.
Yeah, see, people forget that werewolves can go out during the day still, too.
But they don't in this movie.
No, it's always...
Everyone just hangs out at night.
It's always night. Like, I don't remember any daylight scenes in this movie, except for, it's getting ready to be daylight.
Honestly, all the werewolves have to do is wait till daytime, drag the coffins that they sleep in into the daylight, and then knock over the coffins, and then the sun is out, and now the vampires are tumbling into the sun.
What they do,
the blood feud's over.
They go in and they drag all the coffins out, but they also bring out their alarm clocks. And they reset the alarm clock to go off, so they don't even have to knock them over. They're just videotaping, waiting for the alarm to go off, and all the vampires open up their coffins and go poof.
Now you may also have the issue if you go to move a coffin, you could have a coffin flopper happen, and one of the bodies flops out of the coffin.
That happens, but the good thing is it'll be daylight. There's no problem. It's gonna just turn into dust.
Yeah,
it's just
this is honestly the easiest war ever. You just gotta stay awake.
I would have thought Lucian would have thought this through.
No, instead he waited 300 years underground to come up with his great revenge plan.
I know. It seems like a lot. That was a lot of time for not a great plan.
No.
Not a great plan. Anyway.
Well, that's Underworld.
That's Underworld. And werewolf romance movies. Wasn't prepared for that. I was trying to come up with the 10 werewolf things to do, and it was Leash, Ledger, or Heath.
Oh,
werewolf names.
Let's see. Joseph Gordon-Lucian.
Joseph Gordon-Lucian. That's a good one.
Yep.
I like that. That's yeah. There's all kinds. Next time, Nate. Next time.
Next time.
All right,
I
buddy.
have more time to prep up.
That's right. You
so upset.
It's only like you known about this for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Leave anything for us?
Just bodies. Body count. Body count. Body count. Body count.
Now, this one I'm curious about because there's a lot of action in this, but I don't feel like there's a lot of dead bodies.
Really?
Yeah, like for some reason in my head, we see a lot of gunplay happen. We see a lot of people survive bullets. We see a lot of people not. Also, we have a lot of like your classic henchmen and just the all black and cargo pants and cargo vests.
Mm.
I'm gonna guess like maybe like I don't know 30 some.
Ooh, I like this. We should guess what the
guessing.
You should start guessing what the body count is. 67.
Damn, nice.
This is a sizable body count.
Sweet.
But I mean, there's a lot of people on Amelia's train. There are a lot of like werewolves that get took out, and almost an entire team of vampires. There's humans that get took out.
That's one thing about this movie. It doesn't really acknowledge humans existing.
No, but I'm kind of cool with that. I mean,
well, I just at least give me like one TV in the background going like, yo, there's a lot of people in like leather shooting each other up in London. What's up with that? Tune in at 10.
Well, it was kind of weird because they kind of make reference to the fact that the werewolves open fire on them in front of everyone, like when she's talking to Craven.
Yeah, like you have now blown our cover.
Yeah, like we've always kind of kept it low key, although I didn't see a silencer one on any of those
like
weapons.
if this just felt like their normal war and they're never keeping it silent.
Yeah, but they were in like Bulgaria or Hungary or something like that.
Imagine if you were like a human that got shot by a UV bullet and you live and you got to go to the hospital and then they got pulled the UV bullet out of you. Now that's going to open up a whole worm of questions.
Yeah, I mean, so they shot a few vampires with the UV bullet, but they didn't like die like you would expect them to die, did they?
Yeah, they don't like explode. There was one that had a really great effect where his face like sunken in.
Yeah, I do remember that one, but it was like they went a lot further with the silver nitrate bullets. Like you could see it pumping through their veins.
Yeah,
and, like really like because that was the whole thing. It would get in their bloodstream. So I don't know. I think that was a lot more painful, a lot more brutal, which was kind of cool. I liked it. All right, so that out of 67, that makes this next bit really hard.
Have you ever killed anyone?
Yeah, but they were all bad.
So our kill of the week, man. You go first. What's your kill of the week?
It's that Bill Nighy punching that dude's cheek off. It is so brutal and like it's not too bloody, but it leaves just enough to imagination. And then when you get to see the aftermath of it and like how quickly it all happens, it's a damn good kill.
Yeah,
it shows you how much of a force he is to reckon with.
I agree. No, it's got power. You know, you see skinny, lanky vampires, which is always kind of the aesthetic you're used to till we saw Triple H and Blade Trinity. But to realize they were still like superhuman strength, and they played it good with Bill Nighy. I did like that. I was thinking about this, and there are a lot of kills, and it's a lot of like gunfire, like deaths. You know, people getting riddled with bullets. I did like the first time they shoot one of the werewolves with the silver nitrate, and you kind of see it coming out of their body, and it's just burning and all that shit. But I think I'm gonna change mine up a little bit.
Okay.
Because there's a scene in this movie that sticks with me more than an actual kill. And it was basically, I guess we'd call it the Lichen Fight instead of the dog fight at the beginning of the movie where the two lichens are fighting each other and they are literally slicing themselves open. Like those claw wounds because they did like close ups on it, and like their flesh is opening, and they both were like damaged. That just always stuck with me. Like I know Bill Nye gets his head cut off, and it is kind of cool. He does the turn around, you don't realize his head was cut, and it falls.
Yeah, like he's ready to fight more.
Yeah, and it's cool looking, but the more brutal was the two werewolves going at it at the beginning in the like the street fight.
So yours is more of like the fight of the week.
Yeah, I guess that would be more like what that is, because I mean, if we were doing the second movie, I know what my favorite kill in the second movie is, because I think that's one thing this movie lacks was they were so intent on that final Bill Nye kill to hold us over. Like your guy dying was pretty brutal, but they could have even went further. Like his entire lower part of his jaw disappeared, like lands next to him instead of just hanging.
Yeah.
And, everything else is gunfights. Like even Amelia, who was an elder, I feel like got the short end of the stick, and then they drain her blood, and we don't even really get to watch that. We get to see a couple of lichens chewing on some people in the train, but we don't see the death end of it. And it's just like nothing jumps out at me more than the damage those two werewolves inflict on each other.
Especially because like they're all part of the same pack.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing it for
this is a
fun.
movie where werewolves are pitted against one another, or vampires are really like they're all technically on the same team.
Yeah, I think, and they were depicted as being like the dirty under city dwellers, while the vampires were the clean, posh, just like the back of the DVD. They were very aristocratic, socialite kind of beings, and the werewolves were the dogs, the less than.
Yeah.
But to have fun, they beat the shit out of each other, and it was brutal. I'm sticking with it.
All right.
There's
interesting switch up there.
Yeah, I was really thinking about it watching it last night. When we do number 2, there's 2 kills that would be tied in that one. I'm really looking forward to you watching that.
It'll happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, I say we rate this bad boy. What do you think?
All right, let's do it.
All right, Nate Beckinsale. What do you give Underworld?
I would take her last name in a heartbeat.
I know you would. That's why I said it. And Kate, Nate, your names would rhyme.
Yeah, rhyme. We have a cute rhyme scheme going on.
We do.
Our Benifer name would be
Nate or Kate.
Yeah, that's honestly it. That's all we
That's
can do with it.
how it works.
I'd be Kate.
Nate's like, I'll take her whole name.
Yeah, I'll just do what I
the
gotta
entire name.
For me, this is probably a solid 6.5. I still like this movie. I want more action from it. There's something about it that does keep me going back to it. This is not like some of those other movies where it's like, oh, I haven't seen this in forever. Like I do actually watch this, more than others. Like,
yeah,
especially because it hit me when I was 15. Like this is a cool movie to have when you're a 15-year-old. It's werewolves fighting vampires. It's got swords. It's got gunplay.
It's got blood. It's got guts. It's got cussing. It's got it is everything an adolescent kid wants to watch.
Yeah, exactly. So the only thing, just like watching it now and being ready for the podcast, just seeing like how kind of silly it is with it taking itself so seriously. And I was just like, all right, you could have eliminated some of this for me and just gave me more bullets and swords.
You just stand on that hill, Nate. No one's going to judge you for it.
No,
it's fine.
What about you?
I'm going to be a little bit more generous to it, and I'm giving it a 7.5. I do watch it every year. This is another one of those movies where I watch all of them, and I kind of judge it on all of the story. And it is one of the rare ones too that you finish watching this and you go into the second one and it starts right at where this one ends.
Yeah, because this one ends with them being hunted. They're now on the lam from both clans.
it's basically a cliffhanger movie. You have the ending with this. You have the ending with the blood pouring down onto Marcus. There's a lot not said about Marcus in this movie that really kind of
That's the other,
shocks you in the
we
second
don't
one.
really see much of Amelia being the head vampire.
No,
You
and
know, and it's
you
one of those things like,
really,
oh, you forget she exists until the train attack happens,
mhm.
and Victor gets awoken too soon.
And I don't even. I think she makes a brief appearance in the second one, and I think she makes another appearance in the third one. And I don't even know if it's the same actress. But she's just another elder. You know, it's never. They never really dive into her. She's just a pawn. She's just another step
I don't
for
even
the
know why she's an
rotation.
elder. You know,
And
it's
honestly,
like
the
you could have done like the first 3 movies focusing on each elder.
see that would have been cool. They kind of do that with the 1 and 2, though. You find out that Amelia just doesn't have that much to do in the movie.
It's unfortunate.
Kinda.
There's something there to that story.
Watch the next 2. You need to refresh. If I had known that you didn't
I need to
remember them
watch
as
all
much,
3 movies to cover the 1 movie on the podcast. That's where I messed up.
I honestly, that's what I was getting ready to say is, had I known, I would have been like, you really need to watch all 3, and then we can really talk. Honestly, we could have just done it all as a 1-3 episode, which is almost what I've done on
A
my
little
own.
bit.
I can't separate them, man. It's so weird, but no, I'm right there to 7.5, man. I enjoy this movie a lot. It's not perfect. There are parts that age it. There are some like you said, there's some silliness to it. Um, but it's definitely a movie I'll tell anyone to watch. You know, I recommend it. Too bad we don't have Pete. You know, it did have werewolves in it, so
Once again, Pete gets away from the werewolves
and machine guns. So that's our Alliong. So Nate, do you have a trash opinion ready?
Oh, do I ever?
Oh, I'm intrigued. Let's get your drop played.
I'm the trash man. I come out, I throw trash all over the ring, and then I start eating garbage. And then I pick up the trash can and I smash the guy on the head.
Oh, that's gonna be a disaster.
All right, man. Give me my creed of reviews.
This comes from Ice Gnome back in 2006.
I like that name.
He called this a real stinker. And the only reason I picked his review is because he used the word stinker, and I forgot that exists.
It stinks. There you go.
He said, maybe I just was in an extra critical mood when I saw this movie, but I think it's just terrible. Bad acting all around. Almost incomprehensible storyline. This movie is another heavily Matrix-influenced film. Over-the-top shootouts, high-wire karate scenes. The original Matrix was innovative and thought-provoking. This movie is a wannabe. The characters were one-dimensional and unlikable. The development of the characters seems silly and contrived. This is another example of Hollywood abandoning logic, reason, storytelling, plot, and good characters in exchange for big gun explosions, special effects, special effects, special effects. If you're a fan of the Fast and the Furious, the Blade movies, and Tomb Raider, this movie will probably be right up your alley. On the other hand, if you're looking for a film with some intelligence and maybe an interesting story, look elsewhere. Where do I look, Ice Gnome? Tell me, what else should I be watching? Because I'll tell you right now, I'll be watching Fast and the Furious and Blade 1 and 2. I'm not watching Tomb Raider ever again.
Yeah, let's go watch those movies that made millions of dollars and had multiple movies off their franchise. But you know, those are shit movies. I'm sitting here going, he made a comment in there, and then he used a word where I was like, yep, you just love saying shit, but you have no idea what you're talking about with the genre. He literally uses the word contrived, and bravo. That is a buzzword that critics love. But the one thing that stuck out to me that goes, yeah, you don't know shit about the genre, high wire karate. Karate, that is like the most generic term that someone that has no idea about martial arts
that's a very
or
good point.
it's like high wire karate. Shut up. You've already lost all credibility with me. I honestly was checked out at that point when you said that. Then I heard
all my lips moving and knew that eventually I would stop talking.
I then heard the word contrived come out, and I went, "Oh, I am justified in my hate right now." Like, no.
I always love when we read one of these reviews and they just point out all the stuff that we liked.
Right, yeah. This is terrible for this reason, this reason, this reason. Even though I just went over I gave it so many alley honks for that reason, that reason, that reason.
Thank you.
Oh, that's why we do that bit, man. That's why we do it. All right, man. Well, that's number 2 in our October spook. I don't want to call it the spooktacular. Everyone calls these things the spooktaculars, man.
Not action-tacular, horrific.
Give me back my Halloween. Give me back my spook.
Give me back my candy.
Kate Beckinsale forever.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you have that one.
Let's see.
So we have nothing. We have nothing catchy.
No.
Just listen to the show.
I guess.
No catch.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of our show. We don't need catchy taglines. I can't get that word out. That's
why we don't have them.
Catchy.
Catchy.
Kitschy. I'm done. I'm done. I'm not even catchy taglines. That's how you say it. I don't know. We don't need to pad this out. No. All right, man. Well, I think our next horror movie is going to be a banger.
Yeah, they're going to get a classic. And if you're listening to this episode when it drops on the 11th, good news for you, at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, we'll be doing our live stream of Hellraiser, the reboot. So,
yep.
Now you've heard us today, and you can tune into us later that night.
That's right.
And then if you listen to this on Wednesday the 12th, or a year from now, I guess it's still on YouTube. You could go check it out. Maybe we did a good job.
Well, that's the beauty of YouTube. They can always go back and check out the video. So it'll be up there.
How about that?
As long as we actually did it and nothing got in the way of us.
Assuming we decide to actually watch the movie.
And once again, as long as you're following us on all of our other social medias, we will keep you better up to date than our every 2-week podcast when we announce stuff. So speaking of which, please go check us out over at Facebook at the Give Me Back My Action Movies Facebook group, the Give Me Back My Horror Movies Facebook group. We each have an Instagram page under the same names, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. We're everywhere. You can throw a rock and hit Nate on just about any social media app and start a blood feud with him. It's always fun.
You can do
He
that.
has like 17 going on right now. So
I know who half of you are.
At least half. He still doesn't fully know where everyone lives.
I don't really understand why some of them happen, but they're there.
It just does. It's just a thing that happens. Also, please go check out all the other shows on the Give Me Back My podcast network. We have Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, Monster Movie Stomp Down, Good Beer Bad Movie Night, and I Know You Hear Me with Flynn Hendricks, now featuring Tales from the Haunt as well on the same channel. So, and you know what? Check out everyone else that we interact with and follow on Instagram and Facebook. And please, hopefully by this time, we'll be back on the Action Elite starting. Owen should be healed up pretty good. But we are still currently going through the space opera verses over at J-Man's channel. So I'm not sure where we'll be at by the time this one drops, but it's been chaos on almost every episode. So that's what I bring to the show is chaos. Just a little dash of chaos. Nate, are we done?
I think we're done.
You look done.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm all tuckered out. All right, Charlie, what's a good word?
Scott Stapp forever.
Hell yeah!
Nate, you really shouldn't beat yourself up for not thinking of that werewolf thing for the.
Yeah, but I'm always on my werewolf A game, and like
You
now I just
usually
feel like
are.
I got fleas.
Well, I think it'll be okay. They make a dip for that. Do they make enough
Oh,
where I can
I
dip
hate
you?
the touch of that. I don't like the feel of it.
You don't like the feel of it? Okay.
No,
Well, that means you got to wear a collar.
I'll wear the collar, but as long as I don't have to wear the cone, because there's certain areas I still like to lick.